And y'all talk too much. I mean, just entirely, just too much. Shut up.
They say I can't rap about Jesus.
Sing only Molly money choosing two-seaters. And they say I can't rap about Black Lives Matter. Only rap about how I used to move that gas better. They offered me the deal, came with 3 mil. Had to dumb down the skill for that radio appeal. Women at will, all the money here, but talking about Jesus. Say that ain't welcome here. I can't glorify the spirit, but I can glorify the street. False prophet through the meat, as I profit through the speech. Can't mention blood unless it's gang related. Can't talk about the cross unless it's chain affiliated. Revelation unrelated, say the truth is so hated. Everything money motivated, women disgraded. I can only say when it's sex orientated. Can't speak about the savior, but I can nay ya. Say I don't do skinny jeans, fat swag, kiss men. Last man that kissed a man, betrayed him in the end. Giving scriptures through these raps, just for me to rap. From the church to the trap, just to free yourself.
They say I can't rap about Jesus.
Sing only Molly money choosing two-seaters. And they say I can't rap about Black Lives Matter. Only rap about how I used to move that gas better.
They say I can't rap about Jesus.
Sing only Molly money choosing two-seaters. And they say I can't rap about Black Lives Matter. Only rap about how I used to move that gas better. Now, they say I can rap about I can run up in the house, strip you and the spouse, put you both on the couch, put duct tape on the mouth, wondering what this all about. You claiming that you future, so bring them comments out. I can't uplift my people unless we constantly getting high. Why we hyping, getting by? Why you want me to inspire? Putting pounds in the trunk, driving across the state line. Say Virginia got mechanics, so be careful where you drive. Unless they can twerk videos, say they kissing other girls, IG pose, no clothes, no clothes. Stop killing each other more than the police if you really want peace. Say love thy neighbor, stop with this or self-hating. Stop asking government for the blessings that God gave us. Young man, put your pants up, lady, put some clothes on. All my black men, stand up, I'm gone.
They say I can't rap about Jesus.
Sing only Molly money choosing two-seaters. And they say I can't rap about Black Lives Matter. Only rap about how I used to move that gas better.
They say I can't rap about Jesus.
Sing only Molly money choosing two-seaters. And they say I can't rap about Black Lives Matter. Only rap about how I used to move that gas better. 5280 Bless baby, bless baby, bless baby, bless baby, bless baby. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. It's time to get up and get ready, for the hottest morning show in the ATL. It's the Wake, Bake, and Coffee Morning Show, live with Georgia First Black Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the most interactive radio show live. We bringing the hottest news, the illest independent artists, and a whole lot of love, baby. Okay. Time for you to get up, roll up, sit back, and ride. Wait, Coffee Morning Show. Georgia's first black governor. Yes! Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Gap TV Music. Good morning, Mama Quita. Yes.
Hi, all.
Mama Quita.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be obedient this morning, Mama Quita. Okay.
What?
Well, first off, let me start off by saying, let me give all honor and praises to my Lord and Savior, my Heavenly Father. Oh, good morning, Miss Long. I was in the wrong thing. I was in Steve comments. That's why I didn't even see you. Good morning, Miss Long. Welcome to the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show. First off, let me give all praise and all honor to the Creator. Good morning, Big Juice. To the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The one who Elijah said, bring down the fire. Put water all on the altar. Fill up everything and watch. The one that gave his only begotten Son. Give all honor and praise to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who's the head of my life. I thank God for my First Lady, our children, our parents, siblings, and our friends and foes and those that like to troll. And it's cool because we love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. So to everybody that's watching, if you are on YouTube, hit that like button. Come out of the comments and hit the like button. And hit the share button. If you're on Facebook, let me see some hearts, some thumbs, some smiles, some sad faces. Whichever emoji you feel like clicking on don't really matter to me. You can just click on the emoji. Just hit the share button. Just hit the share button. Stevie said you need a new cup, Mama Quita. I know, Mama Quita need her own cup.
I got the new one, Stevie Steve. I got the new one. I was drinking out of it the other day. I got to go back.
You need the Mama Quita Love Series cup.
I'm not going to argue with that.
You need a cup with you by yourself. My face already everywhere. You need the Mama Quita Love Series cup.
Okay.
You're not going to argue with that? Oh, I didn't think so. I'm glad.
You know, okay.
So how's everybody doing this morning? How y'all feeling? How you feeling, Mama Quita? How you feeling? How you feeling this morning?
I am wonderful. I got to say this. Yesterday on my way home from work, it's like 30 degrees outside. And good morning, Miss Long. And as I was going up a side street, one of the lofts downtown, there was a paraplegic sitting outside in the cold. He was fully dressed. But as I sat there and looked at him, I was really trying not to stare at him, but I was staring. And I wasn't staring out of sympathy or empathy. I was staring out of gratefulness because I began to thank God for the things that we take for granted. Just the use of our hands and our arms. And then I thought about it, just thanking God for the use of my legs. He was sitting outside in 30-degree weather. Now, yes, he was dressed. I don't know if he had feeling in his legs, his arms, his back. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry, I was listening to something else. But it was 30 degrees outside and he was sitting out there. And I just thank God for the use of my legs, because if he had his legs, he would have been on the inside while he was waiting on whoever to come and walk out into the cold versus sitting there in the cold. So I just had to take a moment to be in straight gratefulness and thankfulness and appreciation to God that that could have been me. I was in an accident when I was 20 years old. I flew from one side of 20, hit the wall, to the other side, hit the back end of an 18-wheeler, back across 20, and ended up on the side where the wall was again. And it all happened so fast. And the person I was in the car with, his mom went and saw the car. My whole side of the car was gone. It was completely gone. I walked away with a hairline fracture in my ankle. So I have to be nothing less than grateful this morning.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Good morning, Miss Teresa. Big Juice, you got to reach out to Stevie Steve to get you a cup.
Good morning, Miss Teresa.
And I'm going to say the same. I ping pong down 95 because the driver fell asleep behind the wheel. The entire passenger side of the car was totally destroyed. The driver's side of the car looked like the car was still brand new. I didn't even walk away with a headache. Flipped over in the car a couple of years after. Still walked away good. Now I might have a couple problems, just a little bit. But by God's grace, I'm still here. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my inspirational rant. Are you short-changing God? Some of y'all out here, y'all short-changing God this morning. Y'all been short-changing him for a long time. And when you're short-changing him, pretty much what that means is, oh, you're like the disciples on the boat while Jesus was asleep. Your faith. You shortchange God because you worry more about what the situation looks like than what God promised. Some of y'all shortchange God because you're afraid to go ahead and step on out. You're afraid to leave your comfortable, cozy lives. And y'all are living lives that are very mediocre. Now, I'm not talking to none of y'all. I'm talking to Gov this morning in this inspirational rant. I'm not talking to Mama Quita. I'm not talking to Big Juice. I'm not talking to Miss Long. I'm not talking to Miss Teresa. I'm not talking to Stevie Steve. I'm not talking to nobody that's going to come in and watch the replay or anybody that's going to jump in. Let me talk to Gov this morning. Can I have permission to speak to Gov this morning, Mama Quita?
You have all permission, Chuck.
I received a video yesterday from my soon-to-be wife. And this morning I had to go into prayer. And I had to ask God to forgive me for living a mediocre life. I had to ask God to forgive me for settling for shortchange handouts. I had to ask for forgiveness because for a long time I've always looked at the circumstances instead of relying on the faith and the promise. And a lot of people always stare at the bank account. They stare at their living situation. They stare at everything that's going on around them. Kind of reminds me when Peter got out the boat. Jesus came back and showed himself, and he was walking on water, and Peter said, "Hey, can I come out there where you are?" Jesus told him to come. Peter got out the boat, and he was walking on water. See, that's the beginning part. You know, we first ask God, God tell you he got this for you, and you be like, okay, cool. Can I come on out there? And he said, come on. But then the wind started blowing. The water started getting rough. Peter stopped looking at Jesus. He stopped concentrating on the prize. He stopped concentrating on his faith, and he started concentrating on the situations that were surrounding him. He started paying attention to the naysayers. He started allowing people to say, yes, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh man, how you gonna get that done? You know how much that costs? Do you know what you gonna do? Do you know how that's gonna be? And he began to sink. And he began to drown. And Jesus had to help him up out the water and back in the boat. How long are y'all going to shortchange God? How long are you going to accept the mediocre? How long is it going to take for you to start that business that God needs for you to start? Because you exercising your faith, you allowing God to establish you the way he wants to establish you, that makes you a blessing to somebody else's blessing. And I'm going to use this analogy again so you can understand what I'm talking about. There was a man that was born in the 70s. He was born in Chicago, and God destined his life to be one of the greatest authors ever lived. The book he was supposed to write, 20 years after he wrote the book, a young man who he don't even know, that was born in Los Angeles, California, was supposed to read that book, and God destined his life to become the first black president of America. And this was way before Barack Obama. The man who was destined to be the author decided not to follow God, joined a gang, committed murder, and went to prison. He never wrote the book. 20 years later, because the book wasn't written, the little boy in California could not read the book. So he, in return, joined the gang and got murdered. The blessing that God has for you is also a blessing for someone else. But because you want to be mediocre, but because you don't want to do what you're told, but because you feel you know better than God, you don't do what you're told to do, you don't walk in your purpose, you don't walk in what God has for you, now someone else is suffering because you decided to be mediocre, because you decided to take this short handout because you decided not to walk in your full purpose. And when you don't walk into your full purpose, then now you shortchange God. It's more than shortchanging yourself. But how long are you going to shortchange God? How long are you going to say, how long are you going to look at the wind? How long are you going to worry about the storm that's brewing? How long are you going to focus on the water getting rough? Good morning, Mr. Claire. How long are you going to settle? Or are you ready to get up? Are you ready to fully walk in your purpose? Are you ready fully to exercise and execute what God has for you? Because what God has for you is for you to share with the world. So he can get the glory. And on top of the fact of him getting the glory, your blessing is also a blessing for somebody you don't even know. So how long? How long, Georgia first black governor? How long will you give the excuses? How long will you not even try? How long will you continue to stare at your circumstances? Because your circumstances can't even come close to what God has for you. So my question again, how long are you going to shortchange God? Because the longer you shortchange God is the longer you shortchange yourself. The longer you hinder yourself. How long? How long are y'all going to keep playing the game? How long are you going to be scared? Stop being scared. Put your big boy drawers on. Put your big girl drawers on. And take care of business. God needs you to start taking care of business. And besides Gov, I don't know who else this is for. But it's time for you to stop shortchanging God, and it's time for you to come into your purpose. It's time for you to walk in your purpose. It is time for you to stand and be the man and woman that God has called you to be. So I welcome y'all to the church of the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show with Prophetess Mom Quita and Prophet Gov. Yeah, I said it. Welcome. It's time to stop playing games because time is running out. You only have a little time left. For you know the time nor the hour in which he shall return. And I would hate for the words to be placed upon you to say, depart from me, because I don't know you. I pray that everyone under the sound of my voice will hear the words, come on in, my good and faithful servant. Stop paying attention to your surroundings. Stop paying attention to your bank account. Because what God gives you is always going to be bigger than your bank account. Get your faith game up. Stop serving God with your lips and start truly serving him wholeheartedly. Again, I don't know besides Gov who else this is for. But it's time to stop playing. It's time to get busy. So that's my inspirational rant. So whatever God has placed in your life to do, whatever business he told you to start, which is crazy because I told everybody 2 years ago, a year ago, it's time for you to start that business. Stop playing with God. Stop prolonging your destiny. You're shooting your own self in the foot. And that's my inspirational rant for this morning. I hope you learned something. Welcome, 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 welcome. And we gonna have us a good day today. Cause Mama Quita said, y'all talk entirely too much. We'll be back with more of the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show, live with Georgia's first black governor. The Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA, Encore Plus, YWCA, has partnered with Evelyn Larry Library for their free quarterly mammogram exam. Exams will be given November the 16th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Qualifications, women 40 to 64, no health insurance, and must meet income requirements. You must be pre-registered by November the 13th to participate. So to register, call 404-835-1632. Mammogram exams will be provided by Sisters by Choice Mobile Mammography Unit and held at the Evelyn Larry Library, located at 3665 Cascade Road, Atlanta, Georgia. So ladies, take advantage of these free exams because one exam can save a life. The Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA Schools Out Camp is back from November the 25th through the 27th with arts and crafts, indoor swimming, STEAM, sports, field trips, and much, much more. Pre-camp sign-in is from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Camp hours are from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Post-camp sign-out is from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The cost is $28 per day per child. Caps and other child subsidies are accepted. To get registered, contact Sarah Brown at 404-523-9622 or email her at sarahb@ymcaatlanta.org because when school's out, camps are in. The Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA has partnered with the Jabari Parker Foundation and the Atlanta Hawks for their Thanksgiving dinner giveaway. The Young Family YMCA is asking for donations of non-perishable items as we feed 300 plus families in need this holiday season. All donations can be dropped off at the Young Family YMCA at 2220 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta by November the 22nd. We thank you in advance for your donations that will go to help feed families in need this holiday season. Yeah, welcome back to the WakeBake Coffee Morning. Welcome back to the WakeBake and Coffee Morning Show. Get it right, Mr. Claire. Get it right. Get it right. Get it right. Get it right. Too late, damn it. Get it right. Get it right. You gotta get it right. And we ain't gonna be on here playing no games. Get it right. Get it right. Get it right. Get it right, get it right, get it right. Get it right. Get it right, son. Let me look in the camera. Get it right. Get it right. It's either going to be one or the other. Get it right. I advise you.
Hey, nothing but an instigator. Stop instigating.
Come in and stop playing. Stop playing and get it right. You can call me. I love you, Mama Quita. You can call me what you want to call me.
Instigating.
And if you keep calling me an instigator, I'm going to call you something.
You gonna call me what? Sweetie, sugar, love, because that's what I am. All of that in the above. How about that?
I was gonna call you kind of start with it.
Everything nice, sugar and spice, and everything nice. That's me, sugar and spice, and everything nice.
I was gonna call you something start with close to the end of the alphabet.
You,
The fourth letter before the Z. Anyway, so it's boy. It's time for Miss Portia Kirkland. Words of wisdom.
I got it. Thank you. I got it.
Don't be like that, Mama.
So this morning, hush. This morning, Portia says, if you've ever been discarded or rejected or not chosen, remember it doesn't change your value. A dollar bill thrown away is not chosen, still has the same value. You are the apple of God's eye and his favorite, no matter who uses, abuses, or rejects you. And let me add, abandons you, hurts you, stabs you in the back, talks about you, leaves you, walks out on you, anything that you can put under there, all of that, it does not equate to your value. It does not equate to who God has created you to be. There's not an earthly dollar value that can be put on who you are. And I'm actually glad this was our words of wisdom, because it goes right into my segment today. That's why I want to do it. Okay. So a lot of times we get caught up in our feelings and we start to treat people according to the things that have happened to us. A lot of us were discarded, rejected, or not chosen as children. And it is the root of a lot of our actions as adults. So with that being said, because it is the root, we've got to understand our value and get past it. So Portia's words say, if you've ever been discarded or rejected or not chosen, remember, it doesn't change your value. A dollar bill thrown away or not chosen still has the same value. You are the apple of God's eye and his favorite, no matter who uses, abuses, or rejects you. Follow Portia Kirkland at pkfaith.com. And you're back, Gov.
I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
I'm back. So yeah, y'all follow this person.
Yeah, you're back.
Follow Miss Portia Kirkland at pkfaith.com. Yes, at pkfaith.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow Miss Portia Kirkland. Or y'all can follow her on Facebook at pkfaith. That's pkfaith. PK. I guess they won't even let me type it no more. PKfaith on Facebook. Why none of my comments coming up? I'm confused. But that doesn't matter. So guess what? I don't have nothing to say on that. Mama Quita broke it down. And I think Portia was very self-explanatory. So we're going to take a break. And we're going to come back. And then y'all know what time it is. So here's Evan and Iris with Be Alright.
All I see is blessings, got no time for stressing. Don't believe in failures in my life, it's only lessons. They just making room for what I'm on now. I don't got a clue, but I know the one who does know how. Oh wow. It's like I'm learning the game with the maker I already know now. Destiny has my name, know it's coming, it'll never go. I know that we all gonna be alright. We gon' make it through if it takes us all night. No matter what the odds may bring our way, I can see the blessings coming our way, yeah, yeah, yeah. Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way, our way, our way. Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way.
I can't say that life's been perfect or complain, cause life's been worth it. And all because of who he is working, only working out for my God. And no more living in that fear, no more tears and no. Oh, he's working me and molding me who he wants me to be.
I know that we all gonna be alright. We gon' make it through if it takes us all night. No matter what the odds may bring our way, I can see the blessings coming our way, yeah, yeah, yeah. Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way, our way, our way. Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way.
I can see the blessings, I can feel your presence, leaning on the change in my heart for your endeavors. I pray I'm your reflection, I fiend for your correction. The cross brought the connection, and through Jesus is perfection. Life done hit me crazy, been more stressed than ever. Living like whatever, through the rain I feel you drawing closer. Lord, make me better, take me, shape me, use me, I am yours. Take me, break me for the glory of the Lord. Okay, not only does he hold me when I'm down and feel I'm folding, he my coach when I'm the goalie, never lonely. Got that hope in he who holy, holy, holy. Keep that rugged cross all on me, need that spirit to control me. Seek that word to come and mold me, yeah, yeah. It's like I can feel the blessings coming my way, yeah. It's like I can feel the blessings coming my way.
I know that we all gonna be alright. We gon' make it through if it takes us all night. No matter what the odds may bring our way, I can see the blessings coming our way, yeah. Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way, our way, our way. Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way, yeah.
The Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA has partnered with the Jabari Parker Foundation and the Atlanta Hawks for their Thanksgiving dinner giveaway. The Young Family YMCA is asking for donations of non-perishable items as we feed 300 plus families in need this holiday season. All donations can be dropped off at the Young Family YMCA at 2220 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta by November the 22nd. We thank you in advance for your donations that will go to help feed families in need this holiday season. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Love Series theme song. Theme, not theme, but theme song. So here's the baby daddy without the baby. I'm gonna find me a baby mama with no baby too. Here's Sean Isaac with Love You Harder right here. And we'll be back with Mama Quita right after this.
Tell me something I need to know. Then take my breath and never let it go. If you just let me invade your space, I'll take this pleasure and take it with the pain. And if in the moment I bite my lips, baby, in the moment you know this is something bigger than us. Bliss, give me a reason to believe in. And if I want to keep you, I gotta to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I gotta to love you harder. Love you harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. I know to keep you, I gotta to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I gotta to love you harder. Love you harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Harder, 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 harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Harder, 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 harder. So what do I do if I can't figure it out? I gotta try again. Oh, so what do I do if I can't figure it out? Said I'ma leave again. To keep you, I gotta. Said I got to love you, babe. I said I gotta love you, babe. And if I really need you, I gotta to love you harder. Love you harder. And if I want to keep you, I gotta to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I gotta to love you harder. Love you harder. Yeah. Love you, love you, love you. Harder, harder, harder. This is so sketch. Love you, love you, love you, love you. You back at it again. Harder, 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 harder. ODLTL.
Y'all know what time it is.
Hey y'all, allow me to introduce myself. I'm
Mama Quita.
and this here is the Mama Quita's Love Series.
Y'all know what time it is.
So grab your pen and your pad and put on your thinking caps, and let's get down to this relationship business.
Y'all know what time it is.
Mama Quita's Love Series.
Yeah. Y'all know what time it is. I want some grits. I don't want to kiss them though. I just want some. I don't necessarily want to kiss them, but I want some grits. Can I get some eggs on the side too, Leslie? A little toast. Yeah, all that good stuff. So welcome back, man. Y'all know what time it is. It is Mama Quita's Love Series. Mama Quita said you talk too much and you never shut up. I say you talk too much and you never. Oh, that's before some of y'all time. Yes, that'll work, Miss Precious. I take some fish too. Actually, can we get some shrimps? Not shrimp, but some shrimps and grits. Yes. I don't cook no more. Girl, stop. You got children. You got children. Gotta cook. Gotta do some cooking. So without further ado, here is the lovely, the gorgeous, the sweet, the nice, the kind, the sugar and spice and everything nice. And what else did you say earlier? All that good sweet stuff. Right.
I don't remember.
I know.
It's over.
It's over. Here's Mama Quita, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my bad.
You're so extra.
Don't hate me.
You're so extra. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Okay. So Portia Kirkland kind of went into what I wanted to talk about this morning. We have the tendency, now let me stop.
I'll be back.
Some of us just talk too much.
I'll be back.
We don't know when to be quiet, how to be quiet. And it affects every part of every relationship that you have. And a lot of times it comes from the root of being rejected, being discarded, not being chosen. Something as simple as not being chosen as a kid for any sports at school, or being isolated. Nobody really wanted to deal with you for group projects or whatever. Something as simple as that, the enemy can take it and cause and root rejection in you. And because of that, now you begin to do things that will cause you to always want attention. And in relationships, it's funny because in order to come out of that, God will give us wisdom. God will give us wisdom to get us where we need to be in order to curtail that situation. So, wisdom is the ability to discern right from wrong and to understand what is true and lasting. In Proverbs 4:7, it says, therefore get wisdom. With all thy getting, get understanding. Wisdom will lead you into humility and cause you to humble yourself. When I was married and pregnant with my daughter, I was under so much stress. I didn't even know I was pregnant until I was 28 weeks. And because I had so much going on, I felt like I was literally losing my mind. I was almost to a point of hating my husband. I was angry. I was bitter. I was hurt. We were in the same house together, but I felt rejected. And I felt like he had made me feel like I wasn't good enough. Hey, y'all have heard my story. 14 years with him, in and out of, well, we were in a relationship, but he stepped in and out with other folks. That's enough to tear anybody's self-esteem down, especially when you came in with self-esteem issues. But I was stressed to the max. And I just kept praying, God, fix him. Fix him, fix him, fix him. The problem not me, the problem is him. And my sister introduced me to a book called The Power of a Praying Wife by Stormy O. Marshall. Now, y'all can see this book. This book is raggedy, like coming apart, pages coming out. I read this book when I was married. I read this book after my divorce. I read this book while I was dating. The Power of a Praying Wife. And the first 2 chapters were probably the most important lesson that I've ever learned in my life. Because Stormy O. Marshall teaches, and it's not a popular teaching, but it is a very important lesson, how to stop looking at all his wrongs, lay down my life, and submit to God and say, fix me, Lord. And I know that sounds backwards, especially when he's the one doing everything. You have to say, fix me, Lord. When I shifted my focus and God began to actually work on me and fix me, my husband had done an entire 160-degree turn for the better at the time. The book is 30 Days of Prayer. Every day you pray one prayer for your husband. Well, let me take that back. 29 days you say a prayer for your husband. The first day you learn how to pray for yourself. 1 Peter 3, 1 and 2 says, and I'm saying this in my own words, but a wife can win her unsaved husband over to God through her actions more than her words. Because you know that old saying, actions speak louder than words. That actually goes for any and all of your relationships. The Father says, if I be lifted up, I shall draw all men unto myself. John 12 and 32. And if we lift him up in our everyday lives, how we carry ourselves will draw people to God. It's no different with your husband. Now, with that being said, that goes both ways, not just husbands, it goes for wives also. And usually it's the people that's closest to you that get to see you for who you are. And with them seeing you for who you are, they see your strengths, they see your weaknesses, they see everything about you that the other people don't get to see. And that means they have more, they see more and have more opportunity to see the real you. They're in close communication with everything that you do. I'm trying to think of the right words to say this, but in our talking, we should not be highlighting who we used to be, because God has now rebirthed. 2 Corinthians 5 and 17 says, therefore, anyone in Christ is a new creature, and all things have passed away. So if we're always boasting about who we used to be, or we're always comparing who we are to who we used to be, you're not showing who God is creating. How can you always bring up and throw up the old things about yourself when your goal is to exemplify who you are now? It's a contradiction of who God's creating you to be and what he's doing new in you and with you. The old stuff, some we have to understand that some old stuff is just privy information. Privy just means not necessarily secret, but you just don't give everybody access to all of you. Some stuff God or the Holy Spirit will tell you what to share and who to share it with. Everybody does not get to know you and all of you. They don't need to know you. Think about it this way. If you get with the wrong somebody, I don't care if you've been with this person 4, 5 years. Good morning, Mama. I don't care if you've been with this person 4, 5, 10, 20 years. It can still be the wrong person. Because if it ain't who God said for you to be with, it's the wrong person. Just period, point blank. But if you're with the wrong person, and this could also be just in conversation, somebody you just met, and because you talk, you just tell everything. That person is listening with ulterior motives. What can I get to use against this person? What can I get out of this person? This, they're listening for weakness. So in a moment of weakness, you got, and whenever we think we are beyond the point of being God, we think we are rooted in Jesus and I can't be tricked. Yeah, that's the exact moment that that you're the easiest to get. When we get the invincibility thought in our head, that's when you got. Or in a moment of weakness, they may use something that affected you, even though you're talking about it as if it didn't affect you. But deep down it did. So now you said it, and in a moment of weakness, they've used it to throw it in your face. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time for love and a time for hate. There's Ecclesiastes 3:1, 7, and 8. And yes, I just had to throw this in. Yes, a time for hate. God is love, but he states in his word there is a time for hate. Just as he hates the wicked. Psalms 5:5, 1 John 4:8. But that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. But wisdom is an intricate part of submission, humility, and humbleness in every relationship. And it takes both parties being willing to die to self, meaning it's more important to do right than to be right. And to give life more than to get back at somebody, to get revenge, or to get even. Then, and only then, can you have a winning team, a winning relationship. Gov has been repeating prayer is the best intimacy you can have. Well, let me explain why. Matthew 12:25. Every kingdom divided against itself destructs. It will fall. It will collapse. It cannot stand. When you do not pray for one another, you get a hardened heart, which means strife, anger, hurt, resentment, disappointment, wrong motives, bad attitudes, contention, etc. All of these things build and continue to build a wall within what's supposed to be a fortress. You're supposed to have a wall up when there's a relationship that nobody can come into. Well, the opposite happens because within your fortress, you begin to build a wall that's not supposed to be there. Prayer turns a stony heart into flesh. That's Ezekiel 36:26. And it begins to break down that wall and heal those wounds. It helps you to see your spouse for who God created them to be. You begin to treat them with your actions like who God created them to be. And your actions then create a reaction in that person, and you'll see a change in them, just as God has started to change you. Everything is always We want relationships to be equal, but somebody got to be the bigger person, to be big enough to say, you know what, God, I'm going to lay down my life. I'm going to sacrifice in submission to you, because it's not actually, you're submitting to the other person, because we are to submit one to another, both husbands and wives. You're submitting to the other person, but you're not actually submitting to them. You're submitting to God. You're showing agape love, unconditional love. And for those of you who think you know it all, knowingly or unknowingly, because sometimes we have a know-it-all attitude and we don't realize it. But if somebody has said to you, you think you know it all, whether it was out of anger, a burst of anger while y'all was arguing, or if it was just in conversation, take heed. Listen, they are not wasting their breath. They are not just talking just to be talking. They are truly speaking out of what they're getting from you. So prayer gives you the wisdom as the praying person to not react out of anger, but to be quiet and pray until something happens. While as the know-it-all, wisdom gives you the humility to be quiet and hear with understanding, or as they say, in ear to hear, and the ability to gain true wisdom, which is, I don't know everything, so let me be quiet. I don't have to always say something. I don't have to always give a response or an opinion on all things. Wisdom demolishes the self-appointed guru who thinks they know everything. It gives you humility and enough common sense to be able to say, hey, I don't know it all. It gives you the humility to be able to gain wisdom from other people, from reading books, from researching, to always be hungry for the wisdom of God. Wisdom teaches us that we have to pray for ourselves and our mates. Ms. O'Martian puts it like this. She uses this analogy. She says, when the two become one, they become one body, they become one flesh, as the word says. So think about it like this. If I am praying for myself only, then I'm only praying for the left side of my body. Can you function to the fullest with only one part of your body? And it goes the same way. If I'm praying only for my spouse, I'm praying for the other side of my body. Can I function if I'm only using one side of my body? No. So I have to pray for both sides so that my body can be in full range motion and I can get everything done that needs to be done. Think about someone who has had a stroke. When someone has a stroke, usually the right side of their body is paralyzed. And in that paralyzation, oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry, y'all. In that paralyzation, it takes rehab to get the complete functioning of the right side of the body back. And sometimes we don't get complete functioning back, but we're able to do more than we were. Think about it. If your marriage is at a point of despair, prayer is now your rehab. And it's going to take prayer and God to bring that relationship back around full circle and then full functioning. Wisdom kills pride. God rarely gives wisdom to prideful people because prideful people usually will squander it on themselves. They will not use it for what it's supposed to be. They will use it for their own gain. And with wisdom comes discernment. So you will know pride and prideful people when it comes into your life. Pride is worldly wisdom. Get what you can when you can and keep it moving. It's all about you. No humbleness, no humility in sight. This leads to that divided house that will end up falling apart. Wisdom knows and understands that pride is death to your relationship. And most people only can see or know when pride is in the building because prideful people talk too much. There's an arrogance. There's a need for everybody to pay attention to me. And again, it goes back to the root. Somewhere down the line, rejection needs to be dealt with. Abandonment needs to be dealt with. Not being chosen needs to be dealt with. All of these things need to be dealt with. So that we can get to the root of it. Godly wisdom comes from God and trust in God. Wisdom keeps you informed as to God's perspective and outlook. It begins and ends with the fear of God, engaging with His word, meditating and contemplating on His word, getting an understanding, and mainly asking God for wisdom. You ask, He'll give it to you. Wisdom is the key to life. Period, point blank. It gives you the ability to cut through the BS. It gives you the ability to see the agendas and the motives behind people's hearts. You see them for who they are, why they're really here. People with wisdom, they're real cut to the chase. No nonsense. I'm as Gov. When I'm talking to folks, I don't do a whole lot of small talk. I don't need a whole lot of conversation because when you start talking to me, I can pretty much size up what needs to be sized up. It don't take a whole lot to figure out people. It don't take a whole lot to figure out what their motives are. I don't need a whole background and all of that. Now, give me the meat of it and we can keep it moving. He tells me all the time, hey, Daddy, I love you too. He tells me all the time, Oh, he'll tell other people. Mama Quita don't listen to all that other stuff. He needs background. He needs to know the whole story. I don't need the whole story. All I need to know is what the problem is, what led up to the problem, and I can tell you the background of it. I don't need all that. Because that, with prayer and the discernment of the Holy Spirit, cuts out all the other foolishness. Wisdom will keep you out of relationships you don't need to be in. A lot of us get with folks, and when we get with folks, we automatically feel like, let me go back. Not everybody. Let me make this disclaimer. There are people who do, there are people who don't. But for everything that I say, there is always going to be exceptions. I'm sorry, give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Okay, I do apologize, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. So, oh Lord, I just got lost on what I was saying. I have to multitask, y'all. I have to work and do this. You know, we have to have a job till I can quit and do this full time because y'all give me life. Okay, but a lot of times we get into relationships and we feel like we have to tell every part, everything, and we don't. Don't be so quick to tell everything. Don't be so quick to go head over heels. I was married. I was with my ex-husband for 14 years. I was married to him for 8. And out of those 14 years, it took me a long time to be honest with him. And I told him some things that I had never told anyone else. And then one day, in the midst of us arguing, he took what I told him and threw it in my face. And it hurt like never before. It's going to happen, but wisdom gives you the strength to deal with things when they happen. But if I had to use wisdom prior to that, wisdom told me a long time ago I wasn't supposed to be with him. My flesh told me I was with him, I needed to stay with him. Me, the rejection, the abandonment, the hurt, the pain, all of that told me another story. But wisdom, that little voice on the inside, that hearkening, yeah, that told me a long time ago You're not supposed to be with him. Leave, get out. And I did. If we learn how to listen more than we talk, people tell you their motives. If you heed to what they say, you'll know when to walk away. And it don't take long. Don't take much. And be careful of the people who allow you to do all the talking. I'm real leery when I get to people. And I know this may sound the craziest because I don't do a lot of talking. So when I'm around people, because I don't do a lot of talking, I listen to hear people's motives. When I get around people who don't talk a lot, I ask questions. That's my talking. I don't just volunteer information because they listening for motives also. Whether they be ulterior, and some of them may be good, but they listen for a reason. So I don't jump into just giving out all my information and telling you about me and my background. I got to ask some setup questions because I need to understand who you are, why you are. So stop talking so much, y'all. And think about who you're talking to, why you're talking to them. What's their purpose in your life? And listen. When people give you nuggets, take them, dissect them. When somebody tells me there is something that I've offended them with, or somebody says, you are just talking way too much. Or if they say, I've had people tell me, you think you know it all. And when they said it, it took me aback. But I had to I had to go back to our conversation. And then I had to go back further to other conversations. And then I had to think about who was telling me this. And what I came to the conclusion, I'm sorry. And when I came back to the person, I had to apologize because I had absolutely come off as that way. And God had to start dealing with me. I have not been I have not been one to talk a lot in my life, but at the same time, No, Miss Teresa, it's not stuck. Not that I know of. I'm looking at it. It's not stuck on our side, on my side. But at the same time, wisdom will teach you when to be quiet again and when to speak. You have to know your limits. But that goes back to being in God, asking for wisdom and understanding, knowing who you are. Let me say that knowing your identity is very, very, very important. Because when you know your identity, it doesn't matter who comes into your life, what they say, none of it matters because you're solidified in your identity. You know, just like Portia Kirkland said in her words of wisdom, you know that they do not change your value. Matter of fact, they can't even call your value because they don't understand the calling on your life, nor do they understand truly who you are. So, getting into your word, meditating on your word, I promise you, that's what you need. It'll get you right. I'm not getting no feedback today, y'all. Y'all don't love me today. Thank you, Mom. Where is Gov? Y'all, Gov left me by myself. This is my segment, but I need him to go to a commercial break. Where is he? Y'all seen Gov? Okay, we're going to keep going. She said, that's deep. We're all listening and pondering on what's given. Sorry, I had to go to a meeting. It's good. I hope everything went well, Miss Teresa. So all right, Miss Parks. It's funny because I got this message and I'm going to get a little transparent. I got this message yesterday as I was sharing with my sister how frustrated I've gotten. And it is, Miss Teresa. God always shows up. How frustrated I've gotten with where I am. And I'm a quiet person. So when I get around other people and they do a whole lot of talking, sometimes it irritates me because I don't do a whole lot of small talk. And I have to pray and ask God to deal with me all the time. Like I said, I was reading the book, The Power of a Praying Wife. And I told y'all it goes for every relationship in your life. So it's not just you and your spouse. It may be you and your kids. It may be you and your coworkers. It could be you and anybody. But God will allow you to be in certain situations to work on something in you. It's something that he's trying to sharpen in you. It's something that he's trying to get you past in preparation to get you somewhere that you're going. So when I get in situations where I'm frustrated, I have to remember to always go back to prayer, go back to my roots, go back and say, God, okay, all right. If you're allowing me to be in this situation, what is it that you're getting out of me? What I need to get this lesson, because this is not one I need to come back. I personally, I don't know about y'all. I personally don't like to go back to lessons. I actually feel some type of way when I have to go back to lessons. And when I have to go back to lessons, they are not fun because I be mad. So in this situation, like I was saying, I've gotten frustrated and I had to go back and say, okay, God, what is it in me that you're trying to pull out? What is it in me that you're trying to sharpen? Because you know me. You know what I can deal with. You know what I can't deal with. And I have to tell y'all, I don't care what nobody say. I have growth. I see it. Because I promise y'all, had this been a while, I ain't even going to say a while. I'm going to say just last year, I'd have just stopped the person and been a little bit rude about it. Like, you talk too much. Please be quiet. Please remove yourself. But God done dealt with me. Okay, God, show me me. And that brings up another point. Sometimes God will put people in your life that are a mirror of you and you don't even know it. The very thing about them that makes you mad is the very thing that is a reflection of you. Let me say that again. Sometimes God would put people in your life that are a reflection of you. The very thing that irritates you about them is the reflection of you. Think about that. So think about the people in your life that irritate you. Why are they there? Are they there to pull out the best in you? Are they there so that God can sharpen your character? Is he molding, making you? And in the process, usually when he's molding and making you, not only is he changing you, but he's using you to change the other person. He says, all things work together for my good, for those who are called according to his purpose. He's going to get the glory out of it all. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it may seem like or feel like, or the physical side, he's going to get the glory. One thing he's been telling me over the last couple of months, and I promise you it's been about 3 or 4 months now, he's been saying, stay focused on me. Sorry, y'all, I just had an epiphany. A light bulb just went off. Stay focused on me. You're going to see things in the physical. Don't look at what it looked like. Keep your eyes on me. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. Keep your eyes on me. Miss Teresa says, sometimes God puts you in situations to show you your growth. You're absolutely right, Miss Teresa. God will put you in situations just to show you your growth. But he's been saying, keep your focus on me. And I don't know why I'm going to this, but for somebody, I don't know what you're going through, but things have been truly, truly hard. But God gave you a word, and you're standing on the word, but your faith is wavering. And he's saying, keep looking at me. Keep walking with me. Remember what I told you. Stand on my word. Don't waver in your faith. Stand on my word. Don't take your eyes off me. Because as Gov said earlier, walking on that water, when you take your eyes off of God, you will begin to sink. And for a lot of us, that sinking means right now, where I am, if I take my eyes off of God, I may lose my life. I'm struggling just to breathe right now. I can't catch my breath. But as long as I'm keeping focused on God, my breath, I can breathe. As long as I'm looking at God, I can keep going. Y'all, look who just showed up. As long as I keep my eyes on God, I can keep going. So keep your focus on God. Don't change. Don't look away. Don't even glance. Because for some of y'all, your very life is dependent on it. Keep your focus on God. Okay, Gov is cueing me. We got a commercial break. So, you ready? Or I need to keep talking? Okay. He don't know what he want to do over here, y'all. Y'all don't see him in the background.
No, y'all don't. You don't hear me either. But you hear me
You
now.
don't hear him either.
But you can hear me now. I'm sorry. I got called into the principal's office. I knew Mama Quita can hold it down, but I told him, time out on me getting in trouble. I need to go let my co-host go to commercial break. So, yeah, y'all know what it is. We'll be back with more on the Quita Love series right after this.
See, I like to apologize to all the women. But for me growing up, these were the women that I saw in pain. So I like to dedicate this song to all my sisters out there. And let y'all know.
All the nights at home, leaving you alone, waiting by the phone, knowing I was wrong. Let me apologize. Girl, it hurts to see you cry. Yeah, I'm a grown man, and you deserve better. Do everything I can, 'cause baby, it is forever. Let me apologize. Girl, it hurts to see you cry. Oh yeah.
Sexy, a black woman, I wanna take this time, put your pain on my shoulders and apologize for every guy that made you cry, hurt you on the inside. This apology is when daddy said goodbye. No more house visit, first heartbreak, no forgiveness. The one that said you was pretty to take your virginity. I'm sorry, didn't protect you from the slave ships of the enemy. To all my black women, I send this apology.
All the nights at home, leaving you alone, waiting by the phone, knowing I was wrong. Let me apologize. Girl, it hurts to see you cry. I'm a grown man, and you deserve better. Do everything I can, 'cause baby, this forever. Let me apologize. Girl, it hurts to see you cry. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry for being less than a man. Left you as a single parent. A son dying, a daughter's pregnant. Sorry for them lonely nights you cried. Deep wounds on the inside, and those repeated lies. I'm sorry for them nights you went hungry to feed the kids. I'm sorry for playing on your love and being abusive. Say you got scars, Maybelline can't even cover you. Molested as a girl, but raped as a woman.
At home, leaving you alone, waiting by the phone, knowing I was wrong. Let me apologize. Girl, it hurts to see you cry. Yeah, I'm a grown man, and you deserve better. Do everything I can, 'cause baby, this forever. Let me apologize. Girl, it hurts to see you cry. Oh yeah.
I just wanna know would you accept this apology on behalf of every man that ever done you wrong. Please find it somewhere in your heart to forgive me, forgive us, the black man. I just want you to know I stand to do better. Love you forever and treat you like a queen. Say be the man you need, provide and then leave. Structure family, God first, then you and me. I know you heard it all before, but I speak honestly. To give you this love so abundantly. For 400 years, baby, you've been incomplete. I ask God for forgiveness, but can you forgive me?
All the nights at home, leaving you alone, waiting by the phone, knowing I was wrong. Let me apologize. Girl, it hurts to see you cry. I'm a real man, and you deserve better. Do everything I can, 'cause baby, this forever. Let me apologize. Girl, it hurts to see you cry. Oh.
I'm sorry. Y'all know what time it is.
Hey y'all, allow me to introduce myself. I'm
Mama Quita.
and this here is the Mama Quita's Love Series.
Y'all know what time it is.
So grab your pen and your pad and put on your thinking caps, and let's get down to this relationship business.
Y'all know what time it is.
Mama Quita's Love Series.
So y'all know what time it is. We back, we here. Live with Mama Quita. Mama Quita look frozen. Or that's just a figment of my imagination.
Nope, it's not a figment. It's not a figment at all. Oh, what just happened?
You lied.
Where you go?
I don't know where you went.
There you go. Hey, no! Sorry. Oh, look at that pic.
Huh?
Wait a minute. I'm still. What's going on?
There you go.
Okay. Okay. All right. Moving. Sorry.
You got your glasses on. You serious this morning, huh?
Yay! Yes, y'all. Yes. Yes. Jesus. Yes. Okay. Sometimes we just need confirmation that we are growing. Miss Teresa said sometimes we just need confirmation that we are growing. And you're absolutely right. God will put relationships in your life and people in your life that will test you. The very thing that irritates you, aggravates you, the very things that will cause you to feel some type of way. He'll put them people in your life to get growth, to show you your growth, to move things around, to build character, all of these things. But again, like I said, it all, every bit of it is for his glory. Now, in relationship with your spouse, I learned in my marriage that okay, before I say that, ladies as ladies, because we're wired differently, we usually are the ones who will nag and follow and push to the limits and make them respond to us. Well, guess what? All responses are not good. And I do say that in a teaching mode. Whatever it is about that man that irritates you, aggravates you, sends you to that you don't like, sends you to that point, it has to bring you to a place of humbleness where you take it to God. We cannot change anybody. And I was specifically saying that to ladies because ladies do more than nagging and talking and all of that when it comes down to trying to change folks and to making a relationship into what they want it to be. In that sense, men will get quiet and shut down. Even men who talk all the time, when it comes to that part, they'll shut it down. That'd be the one time that you hear them be quiet. Because they're contemplating in their mind what they can do about the situation. Especially if they feel like they can't come to you. But this goes for both sides. No one, and when I say no one, I mean no one. No one can change no one else except God. God is the only one who can change anybody. That comes through prayer. And for some, fasting and praying with prayer. So, y'all talk too much. Stop telling everything. Stop trying to be everything for other people. Understand that everything does not require a response. Everything doesn't deserve a response. Some things is just wasted energy and wasted breath. Some people just like to hear themselves talk. Okay, be quiet. Some people just like to talk to get a response out of you. Wisdom, again, gives you humility, puts you in a place of humbleness. Going back to Ecclesiastes 3, 1, 7, and 8, there's a time to speak and a time to listen. And let me elaborate on the listening. When you're dealing with people, whether you be at work, whether you be at school, it doesn't matter. If people feel comfortable enough to come to you and talk, give them the respect of listening. If they ask you a question, speak, but be aware enough to know how to be quiet. Let them register what you have said and then listen for a response. You never know if someone has even heard you if all you're doing is constantly talking and you never stop for a response. If you're having a conversation with someone and they've trusted you enough to come to you and ask you a question, and they feel like they playing double dutch, they got to figure out when to jump in, they're not going to come back to you. Again, wisdom, humility, and humbleness. It's not always good to be the very one doing all the talking. That's not a conversation. Even when you're talking to God, it's not a conversation unless it's a back and forth. That's what communication is about. And again, like I said, if you listen, save you from a whole lot of heartache. Because you can discern agendas, motives. And you may even save somebody's life just from listening. People will come to you just so they can get something off their chest, not because they want you to actually say something. So it's across the span, every relationship that you're in. Work relationship, love relationship, with your kids, with your family, just meeting somebody off the streets. People tell me all the time, you just have this, just something about you, just make me, I can just tell you stuff. And I say, really? And they just go to talking. Okay. Really? Oh, okay. All right. And then when they stopped, I didn't have to say a word. It was just because I had a listening ear and they felt like they could trust me that they told me. That's all they needed. So be mindful of people all the time, what they have going on. And that's everybody. Your spouse, your brother, your sister, your mother. And usually those closest to you pay attention to clues. All right. I got a meeting in 8 minutes that I got to prepare for. So, Gov, you want to get an offering? I love y'all. Gov gonna get an offering and close us out. That's all I got for y'all today.
So we'll be back right after this.
The Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA, Encore Plus, YWCA, has partnered with Evelyn Larry Library for their free quarterly mammogram exam. Exams will be given November the 16th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Qualifications, women 40 to 64, no health insurance, and must meet income requirements. You must be pre-registered by November the 13th to participate. So to register, call 404-835-1632. Mammogram exams will be provided by Sisters by Choice Mobile Mammography Unit and held at the Evelyn Larry Library, located at 3665 Cascade Road, Atlanta, Georgia. So ladies, take advantage of these free exams because one exam can save a life. The Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA Schools Out Camp is back from November the 25th through the 27th with arts and crafts, indoor swimming, STEAM, sports, field trips, and much, much more. Pre-camp sign-in is from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Camp hours are from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Post-camp sign-out is from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The cost is $28 per day per child. Caps and other child subsidies are accepted. To get registered, contact Sarah Brown at 404-523-9622 or email her at sarahb@ymcaatlanta.org because when school's out, camps are in. The Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA has partnered with the Jabari Parker Foundation and the Atlanta Hawks for their Thanksgiving dinner giveaway. The Young Family YMCA is asking for donations of non-perishable items as we feed 300 plus families in need this holiday season. All donations can be dropped off at the Young Family YMCA at 2220 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta by November the 22nd. We thank you in advance for your donations that will go to help feed families in need this holiday season. Yo, here's my man Glenn Travis. To Feel My Love. We'll be back with the closing right after this.
Someone told me love was only in the movies. It don't exist in real life these days, no. But you showed me if I only just find the faith I need to believe. Anything is possible. If you want it bad enough, know the sky ain't too high. Test your limits. You can feel unstoppable, incredible. Almost there, I can see. I'm so ready. This has gotta be tonight. That dreams come true. Hey, everything feels just right. I guess when I'm with you, just know. Told me that it's unlikely to do all the things you wanna do, cause life just ain't fair now. But don't be lonely, find somebody, then it won't be so hard for you to see that anything is possible. If you want it bad enough, know the sky ain't too high. Test your limits. You can feel unstoppable, incredible, almost there, I can see. I'm so ready. This has gotta be tonight. The dreams come true. Hey, everything feels just right. Guess when I'm with you, just know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? I've ever wanted right in front of me. Not a dream, eyes wide open. Girl, I'm here, and I'm coming in. Doors are closing. I won't run, cause I'm chosen. I won't run, cause I know that this has gotta be tonight. The dreams come true. Everything feels just right. Guess when I'm with you, just know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? I'ma have you like, did you feel my love? Oh, yeah, when I'm with you, just know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love?
Yes. Welcome back to the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show. Yes. I hope y'all learned something today. I hope Mama Quita dropped some jewels on you. This is the offering time. And when we say offering, no, we not asking for any offerings, but we are here to offer you. Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior here on the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show.
if you're looking for a better fulfilled life, if you're looking for better communication, if you're looking for someone to truly listen to you, let me offer you a great listener, a great communicator, someone who backs up their communication with actions. And that would be Jesus himself. So this is the time. If you would like to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, let us know. I promise you it is the best decision I have ever made. And I'm pretty sure Mama Quita can contest to the same, along with others that are in watching the show. The part that I did catch was about listening. What I have understood in these last couple of months is listening is a ministry in itself. Effective communication is done through listening. Effective ministry is done through listening. It's hard to assess something if you're not truly listening. It's hard to assess something if you are not listening for understanding. A lot of people listen to respond. When you listen to respond, you miss something. But listening is a form of ministry. Good morning, Maya. Good morning, Mr. King. Listening is a form of ministry. It's the gateway to communication. And listen to be an ear to listen, to have understanding, and not listening to responding. That's pretty much the part that I walked in on. I got to go back and watch the entire show because I wasn't here. No disrespect to my co-host. I had to go take care of some job-related business. I encourage each and every one of you, Miss Maya, Mr. King, to go back and watch the show. Maybe we can all learn something. And I'm glad that everybody learned something. Looking at the comments, it seems like everybody was listening. And it says sometimes God puts you in situations to show your growth. And I agree with that. But as I stated earlier in the Inspirational Rant, how many of y'all are truly ready to grow? How many of y'all are going to stop shortchanging God and go ahead and grow in the purpose that he has for you? And yes, God will put you in situations to see how well you have grown. I agree with you, Miss Teresa. To test you, to mold you, to shape you perfectly. Because you have to be shaped, molded, and you have to grow in order to move to the next area in your life. So for those that was here to hear Mama Quita, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something. I hope you can take something away from it. Again. Invite Jesus into your life. Allow him to be your Lord and Savior. Allow for him to lead and guide you. Ask him for the Holy Spirit to be an intercessor in your life. Allow him to intervene. Invite him in. Because the Holy Spirit is not coming unless you invite him. Inviting him is the best way to invite him is through prayer. The greatest weapon that you have is prayer. So that's our time for the day. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. I know Mama Quita brought y'all something powerful because just looking at the comments, y'all was really paying attention. Maybe y'all do like I do when Mama Quita is on. I got pen and I got pad and I take notes. So I will be going back to take notes. And I hope y'all have a great weekend. Have a great Sabbath. Get around like-minded people. Get into prayer. Stay prayed up. Get into a church home. get you a Bible. Start reading the word. Start reading the word of truth. I don't care what they tell you about some white dude named King James. Whatever they want to say, go get you a King James version and go get you a new King James or NIV to go with it so you can understand certain translations. However the case may be, get into the word of God. Nail it in your heart. Write it upon the tablets of your heart, because soon we won't have it. So get into a good church home. Really get into the word. Get your prayer life up. Stop shortchanging yourself by shortchanging God and not moving in the purpose in which he called you. And remember, do not talk too much. That was the title of the love series. Do not talk too much. So with all of that, I love y'all. May God be with y'all. Be a blessing to somebody. Be good to somebody. Love somebody. Allow God to use you. And I and Mama Quita will see y'all next week on Monday. Y'all be blessed. And y'all know what that means. Because guess what? I'm pretty sure y'all know what time it is. We gone. Y'all know what time it is. Mama Quita.
Love series.
Y'all know what time it is. Mama Quita. Love series. Mama Quita. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to get up and get ready. Yeah. For the hottest morning show in the ATL. It's the Wake, Bake, and Coffee Morning Show. Live with Georgia First Black Governor.